The 2024 postseason is here, and my New York Mets are in it. I'm so excited. I can't believe we made it, but of course, that's not why we're here. I'll talk about the Mets when we get to their matchup. Today, I'm going to be predicting the 2024 postseason as I do every single year. Last year, I kind of cooked. Had the Diamondbacks going pretty far. This year, looking to go 100% for the first time ever. I know I'm a little bit infamous for my predictions, hoping to right that ship this season and get some more picks right. So if you guys are pumped for the postseason, make sure to drop a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Gonna be doing some live streams during the postseason, as well as just making more content because the postseason's amazing. So you don't want to miss out. Make sure you hit that sub button. Again, apologies for my voice. I lost my voice screaming about the Mets game yesterday, and I hope the construction that literally started this morning isn't too loud for you guys. But I've got to make this video. Games are starting at 2:30. I need to get this video out. All right, let's get it started with the Orioles versus the Royals. The Orioles were one of the best teams all season long, but I feel like the last couple months they've been scuffling a little bit, not necessarily playing the sharpest of baseball. Now, of course, with this Orioles team, you've got Adley Rutschman, who I guess hasn't really been his best, but I still love Adley. Gunnar Henderson's an absolute stud. Colton Cowser's been great. Anthony Santander has been one of the more underrated power hitters in the game. This team's absolutely loaded on the offensive side, but in terms of pitching in that bullpen, they're super shaky. Now, at least they have Corbin Burnes going in game one, and Corbin Burnes is one of the best pitchers in baseball. But losing Grayson Rodriguez for the postseason is not great, and while Zach Eflin, I think, is a great number two, I think there are concerns on the pitching side with this Baltimore Orioles team. With the Royals, you've got the complete opposite. I think their pitching is pretty locked down. Their bullpen can be a little bit sketchy at times, but I love that rotation. You've got Cole Reagans, you got Seth Lugo, you got Michael Wacha. They've got some arms out there that have been successful this season that will give them meaningful innings in the postseason. But at the plate, it's pretty much Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So who do I think is going to end up moving on? I'm not saying what I think is the most likely outcome. I'm going with my heart. I think I've been thinking too much analytical the last few years. Go with the heart, and my heart tells me that unfortunately, this is the end of the road for the Baltimore Orioles. I think the Kansas City Royals move on to go play the New York Yankees, which is a shame because the Yankees haven't played, I feel like, anybody or haven't beaten anybody in the postseason since 2012, I think, when Buck Showalter was with the Orioles. That wasn't in the American League Central, but I think they're going to have a chance to do it again. Royals are moving on in the wild card. Next matchup, you've got the Houston Astros going up against the Detroit Tigers, which is a weird one because AJ Hinch is going up against the dynasty that he helped start. The Tigers have been the best story in baseball this year. This team was down and out. They were sellers at the trade deadline, and they went insane. They went nuclear in the second half, and they are now in the postseason going up against the Astros. Tarek Skubal on the mound game one. That would be an advantage, except when you look for the Astros, and they've got Framber Valdez going game one. Skubal's the better pitcher. Framber this season was incredible. Framber in the postseason, always a dog. The Tigers definitely have an amazing bullpen. Low-key, super underrated. Guys like Michael Foley, Troy Holton have just had phenomenal years, and while the vibes in Detroit have been incredible, you're playing the Houston Astros. You've got Alex Bregman, you've got Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena, Kyle Tucker's back, Yordan Alvarez, I think, is going to be ready to play. Yainer Diaz has been incredible. This team is built for the postseason, and this is exactly where they want you. As much as I want to pick the Tigers to move on, I can't. I have to go with the Houston Astros. You can't pick against the Astros in October, not this early, not against a team that kind of snuck their way in. Even though the Astros only have 2 more wins than the Tigers, I would be surprised if the Astros do not move on. Sorry, Tigers. Pumpkins are playoffs. Pumpkins are October, but I've got to go with Houston here. All right, moving on down to the National League now. Of course, the Dodgers, the 1 seed, 4 and 5 seed. We've got the Padres getting matched up against the Atlanta Braves. Padres fans, you should be thanking us in New York. You should be glad that we sent the Braves to you because the Braves are at a severe disadvantage right now. 1, Chris Sale is not available in the wild card. That is a devastating blow for this Atlanta Braves team. 2, they had to use all their pitchers yesterday to get in the postseason because the Mets walked into Atlanta, had a just insane, chaotic victory, roughed up Raisel Iglesias, roughed up Joe Jimenez, and the Braves needed a must-win game in game 2. So the Braves might be starting at some point in the series, and Ian Anderson and AJ Smith-Shawver, Bryce Elder, they are at a severe pitching disadvantage in this series. But if they can sneak one game, they're going to have Max Fried in at least another one. This Braves team has a shot to still make the postseason because, of course, Matt Olson, Marcell Ozuna, Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris has been on fire. Travis d'Arnaud is a clutch king. This Braves team has a good bullpen. They have a shot, but I think the Padres are just going to be a little bit too much for them right now. Dylan Cease, Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish, Michael King. I mean, the pitching on the starting pitching side is phenomenal. In the bullpen, the best bullpen in baseball, Jeremiah Estrada, Jason Adams, Tanner Scott, Robert Suarez, Brian Hoeing. I think Adrian Morejon's throwing like 98 now. That bullpen is absolutely loaded. Yuki Matsui, the list goes on and on. At the plate, you've got Tatis is back, Machado, Profar's been incredible, Jackson Merrill, Xander Bogaerts. Don't count out Xander Bogaerts. This Padres team is super scary. I would not want to run into them in the postseason. I'm moving them on to the next round to go up against the Los Angeles Dodgers, which should be one of the best series of the entire postseason. Padres moving on. And then, of course, course, we've got my New York Mets going up against the Milwaukee Brewers. Talk about a miracle. I don't know how the Mets made the postseason, even to this day, even to the second. The game that happened yesterday where they won, Francisco Lindor, after they came back and Edwin Diaz blew it and then Lindor home run. Pure, utter chaos. I ascended. I still don't even think I fully comprehended what happened in that game. I think I might have blacked out. Since June 1st, the Mets have been the best team in Major League Baseball. We've got Severino going game 1. Sean Manaea probably going game 2. I don't know what's going to happen. Chaos, chaos, chaos. Embrace the chaos. Francisco Lindor's a dog. Brandon Nimmo's heating up. JD Martinez remembered how to hit, which is huge. Francisco Alvarez is a dog. Jose Iglesias, oh my God, vibes. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from the Mets. I'm a biased Mets fan. The issue is the Brewers own us. The Brewers are our daddy. The only reason we beat them this year is because they punted the last game of the year, knowing that they had the postseason coming up. They've dominated us in every single game that they've won. It's not been particularly close, and I do not feel good about playing the Brewers. I low-key wanted to play the Padres more. I wanted revenge. I did not want Milwaukee. I want to end Milwaukee's season, but it feels like it's going to be really, really difficult. I'm, of course, rooting for the Mets to win. I've got all the faith in the world, but I don't know how they legitimately go through Milwaukee right now, especially when they own us. I mean, Rhys Hoskins literally is our dad. I don't know what to do. I hate Rhys Hoskins. Freddie Peralta's a stud on the mound. Tobias Myers carved us up the other night. The bullpen's incredible. Willie Adames is great. Bryce Terang owns the Mets. It feels like everybody on this team owns them. As much as I want to put the Mets in the World Series, we're playing with house money. Keep doubting us. Milwaukee Brewers are moving on. I hate that. I hate that I did that, but I have to. I'm trying to go 100%, and that is the correct choice. I mean, the Mets and the Braves are at a severe disadvantage. The fact that they had to play a doubleheader yesterday, and now they're playing postseason baseball. Insane. All right, let's move it back up to the American League, and we've got the ALDS matchup between the Yankees and the Royals. I already talked about the Royals. I already talked about the wildcard team, so I'm going to focus on the new teams here. The Yankees have been the best team in the American League start to finish all year long. Garrett Cole. Carlos Rodon's been sneaky good. Luis Gil has been a godsend for this team, saving this rotation. Clark Schmidt's been really good. I don't think Marcus Stroman's going to be pitching in the playoffs, at least not a starter. He's going to be out of the bullpen. And grabbing Jazz Chisholm completely changed this team. It gave them even more vibes than when they got Juan Soto, because Juan Soto changed the mentality of this team. They became winners when Juan Soto got there. But Jazz Chisholm now made them cool, gave them even more swag. You've got Aaron Judge, who's the best player in baseball, arguably. Juan Soto, one of the 5 best players in baseball. Giancarlo Stanton's healthy and hitting home runs. Austin Wells, really good behind the plate. Jason Dominguez is up. I mean, this Yankees team is really good. And as much as I want to pick against them and I want to go with the Royals and go with the vibes there, I think the Yankees are going to move on to the ALCS. If they don't, this is a major failure of the season. It's time to fire Brian Cashman. It's time to fire Aaron Boone. The Yankees have to make it to the World Series this year. I think they're going to make it to the ALCS. They are simply the better team, and I just don't think the Royals can handle them. Bobby Witt, I hope you can. Orioles, if you go through, I hope you can. But the Yankees are moving on. And then as for the Astros and Guardians, I know everybody thinks that I hate the Cleveland Guardians because I didn't say Emmanuel Clase for the Cy Young Award, and because I never give Cleveland the respect they deserve. They had a phenomenal year. Stephen Vogt, 92 wins with this ball club, when a lot of people, myself included, didn't think they might even make the playoffs. You look at this Guardians pitching staff, it doesn't really make any sense how they win 92 games. Gavin Williams, Tanner Bybee, I love Tanner Bybee and Gavin Williams, to be fair. Joey Cantillo, Ben Lively, Matt Boyd was getting big innings. Where they dominate is the bullpen, though. The bullpen's disgusting. Emmanuel Clase, Hunter Gaddis, Cade Smith, Tim Herron, Nick Sandlin. I mean, these are maybe not names outside of Class A that are familiar to you as a baseball fan, but you should be familiar. They have the best bullpen in the American League, and it's not even close. At the plate, you've got Steven Kwan, who's just so good. My voice cracked. Kyle Manzardo's been swinging the bat better. J-Ram, the most underrated player in baseball. Josh Naylor, also super underrated. Lane Thomas has been scalding hot. The Guardians are going to be a really tough matchup for the Astros here. I don't think this is a sweep the Guardians as you would normally predict. They're going to fight. They're going to put up a good fight without a doubt. But it's the playoff Houston Astros. They are different in October. The Astros are built different. And the Astros kind of owned the Guardians this year. The Guardians were 1-4 with a -10 run differential. The Astros are healthy. The Astros are clicking. Hunter Brown's nice. Framber Valdez, Spencer Arrighetti. I think this team's built for the playoffs. They're built for October. I'm moving them on to play the Yankees again in the ALCS. And then for the National League Divisional Series, we've got the Dodgers going up against the Padres. A National League West matchup. This is a hellish matchup if you're a Dodgers fan. You hate this. If you're the Dodgers, you want the Braves so badly. Because again, this Padres team is really good. They're super talented. But the Dodgers, you have an all-star team. World Series or bust. If they do not win the World Series this year, this is a mega failure. You have brought in Ohtani. You got Yoshinobu Yamamoto. You got Tyler Glasnow. I'm not saying that they don't have some difficulties. I'm not saying it's a guarantee because nothing's guaranteed in baseball. But when your roster is Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Will Smith, you gotta make some noise. It's time to put up or shut up. The bullpen, grabbing Michael Kopech, Blake Trinan's healthy healthy. This bullpen has really good arms. Of course, the rotation injured, but you got Flaherty, you got Yamamoto back, you got Walker Buehler. There's no excuse for this Dodgers team. They have to win, but I don't think they're going to. The Dodgers continuously choke in the postseason year after year, and I do think the Padres are maybe the best team in baseball. I'm moving the Padres on to the NLCS. Once again, this is a team you don't want to run to the playoffs, and I think they're going to get hot like they have been the entire second half, and I think they're going to be a buzzsaw to the Dodgers, ending their season early. Dave Roberts will be fired. And then for the last NLDS matchup, we got the Phillies going up against the Brewers. The Phillies are an absolute horse of a team, and as much as I want to put the Brewers through because the vibes and whatever, I want to see the Phillies lose, of course. Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, that's a pretty good 1-2-3 in the postseason. You could even go Ranger Suarez if you want. Oh no, you have to pitch Ranger Suarez. How terrible. The bullpen, criminally underrated in Philadelphia. Carlos Estevez has been great. Jeff Hoffman's been great. Orion Kirkring, Matt Strahm, Alvarado. The list goes on and on. Great bullpen. And then at the plate, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm's been phenomenal. JT Realmuto is still very talented. Maybe not where he once was, but he's still very good. Nick Castellanos is probably going to have a big hit here and there. I can see Brandon Marsh doing something big. The Brewers have great vibes, but I got to go with the Phillies here, moving on to the NLCS. Again, Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball. I just don't see how they lose in a 5-game series to the Brewers, even a 7-game series. It doesn't make sense to me. Now for the ALCS, we have a matchup, Yankees versus the Astros. Man, who do I go here? Is this finally the year the Yankees move on to the World Series? Is this the year they finally beat the Astros? The Astros vibes are just, they're so good. Can they do it again? This Astros team is playing Jason Hayward. Is that a problem? Is that a good thing? Kikuchi is so nasty. It's got to be the Astros, right? It has to be. It makes too much sense, which is exactly why I'm going with the New York Yankees. I think the Yankees are going to the World Series. There's just something cooking in the Bronx right now. Maybe it's the chopped cheeses. Maybe it's the fact that you've got Aaron Judge and Juan Soto on the same team with Garrett Cole on the mound. I think the Yankees are going to the World Series this year. I really do. I think this is the year they finally get over the hump and beat the Houston Astros. Juan Soto's brought a different vibe to this team. Jazz Chisholm has loosened them up. He's been incredible. I don't think we can understate how big that Jazz Chisholm trade has been. This lineup has gotten a lot deeper, and I think they're going to beat the Astros for the first time, moving on to the World Series. Now, as for the NLCS, you got the Phillies going up against the Padres, two freaking powerhouses. Both of these are going to be 7-game series. It's going to be awesome baseball to watch. I'm going with the Padres. The Padres vibes are incredible right now. The Padres are incredibly hot in the second half. I don't know, as long as the Padres play their baseball, how teams beat them, because the starting pitching is deep, which is crazy to say, but the starting pitching's deep. The bullpen is the best in baseball. If they get a lead early, which they can because that lineup is very good with Profar and Tatis and Merrill and all those guys, they're not giving it up. The bullpen's locked down. The Padres are moving on to the World Series to face the New York Yankees. And then as for my 2024 World Series champion pick, Padres versus Yankees, I think in 6 games, your 2024 World Series champions for Peter Seidler will be the San Diego Padres. They're the team of destiny. I tweeted it earlier this year. I meant it. The Peter Seidler vibes, they're going for it. AJ Preller is a maniac. This bullpen is disgusting. The lineup is great. The starting pitching is phenomenal. Everything tells me that the Padres are going to win the World Series this year. They've been so close in the past. They've just barely missed out. And the way that this team is built, they are win a World Series or bust right now. AJ Preller has sold the farm. I think there'd be no better way to honor Peter Seidler. The goal that he set out when he bought this team to win a championship for the only professional team in San Diego, I think it's their year. The Padres are your 2024 MLB World Series champions. I'd love to know who you guys think wins the 2024 World Series down in the comment section below. Who did I get wrong? Am I crazy for picking against my New York Mets? Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, as well as subscribe, because again, we're going to be doing some live stream watch-alongs on here, as well as just a ton of postseason content, so you don't want to miss out on that. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links are in the description. Talk trash. Brewers fans, where you at? I can't hear you out there in Milwaukee. Are there any of you? I know the Cubs run that town whenever you guys play them. Expect a lot of Mets fans there tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching. Let's go Mets, and I hope my predictions are wrong. See you guys next time. Bye.